Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with an early look of this week's Stronach 5 wager. It's a $100,000 guaranteed gross pool, 2 races from Laurel Park, 2 races from Gulfstream Park, and a race from Golden Gate Fields. The action kicks off with leg A. It's race number 8 at Laurel with an approximate post time of 5:12 Eastern. And as I've done in several prior Stronach 5 videos, I'm not going to give out a ticket, but I am going to give out horses that I am seriously considering using in this wager. Do with them what you'd like. Use them, discard them, whatever. But I would urge you to use Ticketmaker in playing the Stronach 5, and that, of course, can be found on DRF Bets and on DRF.com. Weigh your opinions by listing your horses as A's, B's, and C's. Of course, the horses with the most weight, the A's, would get your most money. In leg A, I'm interested in the 2 Tappan Cat. Tappan Cat comes out of the Star de Nascra Stakes. He finished ahead of 4 of these common foes. He is a very logical 5-2 on the morning line. That race, he was ridden like it was a turf race. It was sort of an odd ride. I think the trip worked out very, very well in that he tucked in behind the leaders and he could have come with an outside run to gain momentum turning into the stretch. And instead, his jockey just kept him tucked in behind horses till about the 3/16 pole. He wheeled out, he came with a run, and he just couldn't get there. It was a solid performance. He catches a race where there is some speed, and Tappan Cat just looks very logical. That being said, he's not the kind of horse that I would want to single in the Stronach 5. And if you don't like the Star de Nascra, this race is opened up for several price horses. One that I want to highlight is the number 8, Odds On. Odds On is not going to be odds on Friday. He is 12-1 on the morning line, and you're supposed to draw a line through his most recent race, a 2-turn effort at Delaware. I don't think this is a route horse, and he is now cutting back to a sprint. Just consider the horses that he was in against the last time he was sprinting. The winner of that race, Dupree, is a 7-time winner that returned to finish 3rd with an 86 Beyer speed figure. The runner-up is a 9-time winner that came back to win at Colonial with an 82 Beyer speed figure. Odds On ran okay against those horses, and now he's facing horses that have won 1, 2, 3 times in their careers. He fits very well in this race, has good speed, and could be in the thick of things when the field turns into the stretch. 2 other horses that I'm considering using are the 4 Stroll Smokin', who's just been in very good form since being claimed by Mark Reed. He's won his last 2 races, 1 on turf, 1 on dirt. He can be forwardly placed. This is a class test for Stroll Smokin', but his last few races have just been rock solid, and I would want to consider him. And then there's a coupled entry in here of Sky Magician and the number 1A, Street Prayer. Street Prayer is returning off of a lengthy layoff, but he showed some ability earlier this year as a 3-year-old, and Michael Trombetta can get these horses ready off of layoffs. Sky Magician last time out returned off the layoff in the Star de Nascra, pushed the pace and tired. He should be tighter for his second start back. I would consider 4 horses in the first leg of this week's Stronach 5. Tappan Cat, the 2, the 8 Odds On. They might be my A's, and I might use Sky Magician and Street Prayer, that 1 and 1A entry, and the 4 Stroll Smokin' as B's, but I'm considering using all 4 of those in equal weight as well. Leg B is race number 7 at Gulfstream Park. It is 1 mile on the turf. It is an optional claiming race for 3-year-olds and up. And we have a similar situation as the last race. The 8 Cash Call Kitten, 3-1 on the morning line, just beat 4 of these common foes in his first start off the claim in a similar spot on August the 11th. Now, he had the run of the race. The pace collapsed. Cash Call Kitten got a very nice ride, saving ground most of the way, easing out to split horses in the stretch, and getting up and running away late. He's run very well in his last 2 starts, perhaps living up to his pedigree, being a son of Kitten's Joy, and I would think there should be a fair pace for Cash Call Kitten to run at again. He is very, very logical, but the price horses I want to use in here are the 1 Dexter Road and the 5 Just the Facts. Dexter Road finished 3rd behind Cash Call Kitten last time out. He was 4 wide turning into the stretch while Cash Call Kitten had to save some ground, and he finished an honest 3rd. He now draws an inside post position, and I think he can be more tactically placed as he switches from an apprentice rider to the 20% rider, Gutierrez. Dexter Road, 10-1 on the morning line, a 9-time winner, can certainly fit. The 5 Just the Facts is a horse that can be close to the pace, and while the pace should be solid, it probably won't be as hot as it was last time, the time that Cash Call Kitten was able to rally from off the pace. 3 starts back, Just the Facts finished second behind a horse named Uno e Mayo, who came back to win with an 88 Beyers speed figure. Uno e Mayo has now won 3 out of his last 4 races. While Just the Facts faltered in his last 2, he was sort of hinting that maybe he needed a break, and he got one from his very good trainer, the veteran Angel Pena Jr. Just the Facts can sit a very good trip either on the lead or just off the pace, and he can get the jump on these horses turning into the stretch. This horse has run well off layoffs in the past and is going to be a good price. The favorite in here on the morning line is the number 4 Wingman, and he ran a big figure 2 starts back the most recent time he raced on turf, but he could not have gotten a better trip that day. He saved ground in behind the leader in the pocket, eased out to take the lead as the favorite, and then I thought was struggling just a bit in the lane as he hopped back to his left lead. This horse was claimed again by Bob Hess, who's been tearing it up at the Gulfstream meet, but I'm not sure I want to take a short price on him in this spot. I think that the number 8 Cash Call Kitten's going to run well. I want to use him and Dexter Road as A's, and then I want to consider the 5 Just the Facts as a backup at a price. We'll move out to Northern California for the 3rd leg of this week's Stronach 5, and it's a maiden special weight at 5 furlongs on the turf. And most of the time I like to use experienced horses in this race, but I have to be in this kind of race, but I have to be honest with you, the horses that have run just don't really excite me, so I'm going to land on a logical first-time starter, the number 2 Anna Lee Encore. It's probably not a good sign that Anna Lee Encore, a daughter of Super Stallion Uncle Mo, was a $35,000 RNA as a yearling, but she's now with a really good trainer in Blaine Wright, and she's got some pedigree. The dam was multiple Grade 3 placed on a synthetic surface and has foaled 1 turf winner in Ireland. That dam is also a half to a stakes placed turf horse. Anna Lee Encore doesn't need to be a star to win this race, and I think she's probably going to be tough considering her pedigree and the competition. Of the other first-time starters, the 4 Eddie's Princess and the 3 Habanero can be used as deep backups if you have that kind of fundage. The 4 Eddie's Princess is by Square Eddie, an excellent first-out stallion. This barn has done pretty well in the past with limited opportunities, horses trying turf for the first time, and there are a couple of bullet workouts on display. Habanero doesn't have much in the way of pedigree, but I do like that this horse worked this 5 furlong distance out of the gate on August the 30th at 15 to 1 on the morning line. Is a horse that could be used as a deep backup, but I prefer Anna Lee Encore. Her figures to take money based on the connections and the pedigree. She is going to be tough in the 3rd leg, and the 3 and the 4 I would use as deep backups. We move back to Laurel for leg D, and it's race number 9 going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. This is another maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies. This is the race where I prefer the experienced runners. The number 1 Midship Lady debuted at 20 to 1 at Laurel last month. She didn't break very well. She ended up in a good spot 3 wide turning into the stretch, and she seemed a little bit green when finishing second to the more experienced favorite Bella Aurora. With that race under her girth, I would think that she's going to improve. She's by a good turf stallion in Midshipman, and I think we'll see Midship Lady run well. She's cross-entered at Delaware Park on Thursday, but if she runs here, I think she'll be a handful. The 3 Giggle Factory made her debut at Saratoga with a big pedigree. She's a half-sister to What's the Chances, who won the Grade 1 Beverly D Stakes, and Giggle Factory showed surprising speed for a Tom Albertrani first-time starter. At 65 to 1, she attacked the leader from the 2-path on the far turn before understandably getting tired. It was a race that featured 2 next-out winners, and Giggle Factory is getting Lasix for the first time. I would expect a speed try as she breaks from post position 2. Of the first-time starters, let's use the 9 Palace Check, although she might want to go a little bit more ground. Palace Malice, the first-crop sire, of course famous for winning the Belmont Stakes and the Metropolitan Handicap. This dam was just an amazing runner. 14 times stakes placed, including a placing in the Delaware Handicap going 1.25 miles. Palace Check might want a little bit more ground in this race, but Michael Trombetta, another one that's having a very, very good summer, whether it's in the Mid-Atlantic area or up at Saratoga, I wouldn't want to completely discount Palace Check. I like Midship Lady, I like Giggle Factory, I like Palace Check. I think if you use those 3 horses, you might be covered in race number 9 at Laurel. And we'll close things out with a real toughie. Race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. We're going 2 turns here for 2-year-olds. It is a $25,000 maiden claiming event at about 7.5 furlongs. And there are so many different ways to go. The 4 Keepsake Kitten just seems very logical. He's a son of Kitten's Joy, a Ken and Sarah Ramsey homebred, trained by Michael Maker. And while he's a first-time starter, he shows solid workouts. I just don't want to play a first-time starter at a very, very short price against some experienced horses. This horse could certainly win. I just don't know if the value is there. The 2 He's Super Lucky sold for $375,000 as a yearling, was gelded after his career debut, a race in which he caught Basin, who came back to win the Hopeful, and 3 Technique, who was a very, very promising 2-year-old for Jeremiah Engelhart. The main concern is Kathy Ritvo's willing to get rid of this horse, dropping him in for $25,000 and switching him to the turf. Perhaps this horse can run, but I think he'll take money off the 8-1 based on that company line, and I'm not sure I want to use him either. The 2 horses I want to use are at good prices, the 5 City Cat and the 8 The Doer. City Cat is a son of the good turf stallion Temple City, and the dam has foaled 1 turf winner already. This is from the family of Quiet American, who adds a lot of stamina to a pedigree. City Cat was entered for turf in his career debut, but it got washed off. He was sent off at 4-1 anyway, and just didn't do any running. He's now getting to the surface where I think the connections really want him. He's stretching out in distance, which should help, and I think he's going to show decent early speed and be in the second flight under Mirage. City Cat at 10-1, I think, offers a little bit of value. As for the 8, The Doer, this is a horse that showed speed in his turf and 2-turn debut last time out. He took the field all the way into the stretch, was narrowly beaten. Now they're adding blinkers, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go to the front yet again. His experience should put him in good stead, and that race was solid for the level. The 8, The Doer, the 5, City Cat, those are the 2 horses I'm going to concentrate on, and we'll try to beat Keepsake Kitten and He's Super Lucky, 2 horses that figure to take a lot of money. Remember, there's a $100,000 gross pool guarantee in the Stronach 5 this week, and leg A, the kickoff leg of the Stronach 5, Laurel Park's race number 8, has an approximate post time of 5:12 Eastern. Best of luck.